Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that might just flip your entire mindset today. Most people wake up every morning chasing money like it's running away from them, working job to job, hustling all day, barely sleeping at night, always running, always chasing. And the wildest part, after all that chasing, money still seems to be 2 steps ahead, doesn't it? But what if I told you that money's not meant to be chased at all? What if I told you money is meant to chase you? Yeah, I know that sounds wild, but hear me out. The truth is, people who are wealthy, people who attract abundance, they don't sprint after dollars. They don't beg for opportunities. They move different. They think different. They understand something most people don't. Money is energy, and energy follows value, confidence, and clarity. When you tap into the right mindset, when you move with purpose and show up with impact, money doesn't run from you, it runs to you. This speech right here is your wake-up call. I'm about to break down the exact mindset, the exact moves, and the exact energy shift that flips the game around. No more chasing. After this, money will know your name. It'll start looking for you. So if you're tired of struggling, tired of being stuck, tired of always feeling like you're just surviving, you need to hear every second of this. Because once you learn how to shift your presence, your value, your voice, and your vision, money will start chasing you. Let's get into it. Everybody wants money, right? But the real question is, what are you giving the world that makes money want you back? See, money doesn't move just because you want it to. It moves when you create something worth moving for. That's where value comes in. You want to know the truth. People don't get paid for their time. People get paid for the value they bring to that time. You can work 8 hours a day doing something anybody can do, and you'll get paid the bare minimum. But you do something that solves real problems, something that people need. Now money is chasing you. Let's make it real. Think about this. Why does a plumber make more in one emergency call than some folks make in a whole day? Because they solve a specific problem, a real one. Water's leaking, pipes are broken, you don't want your house flooded. That's urgency, that's value. And when value shows up, money follows it like a shadow. Too many people out here are focusing on chasing the paycheck without asking themselves, what value am I bringing? You want to get rich. You want to live free. Flip your thinking. Ask yourself every day, what am I doing today that helps somebody else win? Because when you make others win, you win by default. That's how the money game works. Now, here's what people get wrong. They think value means creating some big invention or being famous or having millions of followers. No, value can be anything that makes someone's life easier, better, faster, or happier. If you can make someone laugh on a rough day, that's value. If you can help someone understand a complicated idea, that's value. If you can take something stressful and make it simple, that's value. And if you repeat that value consistently, oh, now you've got a business. Now you've got leverage. Now money doesn't just show up once. It starts showing up again and again. The problem is most people don't see themselves as valuable. That's the root issue. They think, I'm just average. I don't have anything special. But let me tell you, you are sitting on something right now that somebody out there would gladly pay for. A skill, a story, a lesson, a solution. You've just got to dig it out, polish it, and offer it with confidence. Money loves clarity. When you know what value you offer, and you know who needs it, you don't have to beg for opportunity. You create opportunity. You stop chasing, and money starts coming. You become the source. You walk different, talk different, because now you're not hoping somebody picks you. You're building something that pulls money in like gravity. But here's the catch. Value must be real, not fake hype, not noise. Real results, real care, real substance. Whether it's in your job, your business, your side hustle, or even your social media, Ask yourself, am I actually helping people? Because when people feel helped, when people feel served, they come back. And this world pays people who can get people to come back. You don't need to be famous to be wealthy. You need to be useful. If you can be useful to the right people, even a small group, you're already halfway there. And the more people you help, the bigger the wave of money that follows. Because value builds reputation, and reputation builds income. That's how the game works. So if you want money to chase you, stop asking, how can I get rich fast? And start asking, how can I solve real problems for real people every single day? The world doesn't need more noise, it needs more solutions. You become that solution, and you'll never have to chase money again. It'll come looking for you every single time. You cannot attract wealth with a poor mindset. Let's just get that straight. If you keep begging life to bless you, if you keep asking for opportunities like you're not worthy, you'll keep getting crumbs. Why? Because life, success, and money don't respond to begging. They respond to belief. They respond to ownership. You have to walk like you already belong in the room. You've got to talk like your dream has already started. You've got to show up like it's already yours, even before it shows up in your bank account. See, there's a difference between wanting success and owning it. Wanting sounds like, I hope one day I get rich. But owning it sounds like, I'm building something unstoppable. You hear the difference. One is timid, one is power. And money follows power, not desperation. Think about it. Have you ever seen someone begging a bank for a loan with fear in their eyes? They rarely get it. But walk in with a clear plan, with confidence and vision, and suddenly people are ready to invest in you. Why? Because ownership breeds trust. Most people walk around like they need permission. Permission to win, permission to try, permission to even dream. But who are they waiting for? Nobody's coming to hand you your dream on a silver platter. If you want to eat, you better pick up your fork and grab your seat at the table. Ownership means you stop waiting and start claiming. You say, this is mine, my future, my path, my results. Now, that doesn't mean you have everything figured out. It just means that you're no longer acting like you're at the mercy of everything and everyone. Begging energy sounds like, I hope someone notices me. Ownership energy says, they're going to hear me whether they're ready or not. You don't need to know every step to start walking. You just need to own your space and move like you belong in the spotlight, even if the crowd hasn't clapped yet. People who live in a begging mindset play small because they're scared to be disappointed. But what they don't realize is they're already disappointing themselves by not stepping up. You weren't built to beg. You were built to build. So build your belief, build your habits, build your confidence. That's where the real wealth starts, in your head before it ever hits your hands. When you truly shift into ownership, your entire energy changes. You stop saying, I can't afford that. And you start asking, how can I create more value to earn that? You stop saying, maybe someday, and start saying, what's my next move today? Ownership puts you in control, and control creates clarity, and clarity attracts success. It's a chain reaction that starts in the way you think and talk about yourself. Let me tell you something personal. The moment you start speaking differently, people treat you differently. And money listens. It listens to how you speak about your goals, your future, your worth. You talk like a victim. Money passes you by. You talk like a boss. Doors start opening. People feel your belief before they even hear your pitch. It's not about faking it. It's about owning it. Even if it's not perfect, even if you're still learning. You don't need to be the richest in the room to act like you have value. That mindset, that self-respect, is the very thing that will make you rich. It's not arrogance, it's certainty. And certainty is magnetic. That's what draws clients, customers, investors, and money itself. Not begging, not praying for pity, but moving like someone who knows they deserve more. So today, make a choice. Do you keep walking like the world owes you something? Or do you wake up and say, this is mine, this life, this dream. I'm not waiting on anyone to hand it to me. I'm stepping into it like it's already mine. That's how you shift from chasing money to attracting it. That's how money starts chasing you. Ownership, not begging, period. Let's be honest. Most people spend more time worrying about being liked than they do about being excellent. But if you want money to chase you, you've got to flip that. Stop trying to blend in and start focusing on standing out. When you become so good at what you do that people can't help but notice, you'll never have to beg for opportunities again. Success starts showing up. Clients start looking for you. Money starts moving toward you like it's drawn to your name. In today's world, there are 1 million voices online, 1,000 people doing what you do, and everyone fighting for attention. So how do you win? You dominate your craft. You get so skilled, so polished, so consistent that people have no choice but to say, that's the one right there. Whether you're a speaker, a barber, a designer, a chef, an athlete, a teacher, it doesn't matter. If you're average, you blend in. If you're elite, you rise. And money loves elite. But here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Excellence takes effort. It takes hours behind the scenes, grinding when no one's watching, learning, sharpening, failing, and coming back harder. Too many folks quit before they even reach their second level because they don't see results right away. But if you stay focused long enough to be undeniable, you won't just earn money, you'll attract it. People pay for certainty. They want the best speaker, the best product, the best service, not the one who's trying, but the one who delivers. So if you want to be chased by money, stop asking for support and start being the solution. When you're the one who brings results, your name spreads. People start saying, you need to work with them. Word of mouth becomes your best marketer. That's the power of being excellent. It turns strangers into promoters and turns your work into a magnet. And here's the key. Excellence doesn't mean perfection. It means consistent improvement. It means every day you're showing up a little sharper, a little wiser, a little stronger than yesterday. That's how you build something legendary. You don't have to be born with talent. You just have to be willing to work on your gift until it becomes too loud to ignore. Think about the people you admire most. They weren't just born successful. They committed to being the best in their lane. They weren't the loudest in the room. They were the most effective. That's what makes people come back. That's what makes people pay. And let me tell you, when you become excellent at something, you stop worrying about competition. You stop comparing. You stop chasing approval because you know your worth. You walk in rooms knowing you've earned your place. And that energy is priceless. Money doesn't chase noise. It chases value wrapped in excellence. When you carry yourself like someone who's put in the work, you carry confidence that money can feel. Now, don't get it twisted. Being excellent isn't about ego. It's about service. You become great so you can serve greater, so you can solve bigger problems, so you can bring more joy, more clarity, more relief, more results into people's lives. And when people feel that, they pay for that, not once, over and over again. Because people don't remember average, they remember excellence. So if you're tired of chasing money, step back and ask yourself, what am I becoming great at? Not just good, not just trying, but great. Where are you putting your time? Where are you mastering your craft? Because if you're not becoming excellent, you're choosing to be invisible. And invisible people don't get paid. So build yourself every day. Read more, practice harder, learn deeper, execute sharper. Be so good, so solid, so reliable that when your name comes up, people say, oh, they're different. Because when people say that, money starts knocking, not just once. It comes back again and again. And just like that, you stop chasing it because now it's chasing you. Money listens to one thing above all else: value. It doesn't care about your looks, your background, your story, or your struggles. It only pays attention to what you can offer and how well you can communicate it. And that's the part most people miss. They have skills, ideas, even talent, but they don't know how to speak the language of value. And if you don't speak it, money doesn't respond. Let me break it down. Most folks talk about what they do. They say things like, I'm a coach, I'm a designer, I'm a speaker, I'm a consultant. That's fine, but that's not value. That's just a job title. What people actually care about is what they get. They want to know how their life gets better because they connected with you. That's the language of value. It's not about your position. It's about your impact. The person who gets paid the most isn't the one with the flashiest resume. It's the one who makes the most difference. It's the person who says, when I work with you, you'll make more money, or you'll gain back time, or you'll feel more confident, or your team will perform better. That's value. Clear, direct, outcome-driven value. That's what people buy. That's what makes money follow you. Now, here's the thing. You might already be valuable, but if you don't learn to speak about it with clarity, you stay overlooked. That's why the language part matters. You've got to take your skills and wrap them in words that people understand, feel, and respond to. You've got to talk in outcomes, not activities. You've got to show people the transformation they get, not just the service you offer. And it's not about sounding fancy. It's about making it clear. If someone says, I help busy moms get fit without spending hours in the gym, that's value. If someone says, I help small businesses double their client base in 6 months, that's value. It's not vague, it's not confusing, it's laser focused. That's how money knows where to go. If you walk into a room and you can clearly explain what you do, who it's for, and what result it brings, you've already separated yourself from 90% of people. Most folks are still mumbling through their elevator pitch, unsure how to explain their worth. But when you learn the language of value, you walk different. You talk different. You get invited into better rooms. You stop competing on price because people see your results, not just your role. Let's go deeper. Think about this. People don't buy things. They buy feelings. They buy relief. They buy freedom. When you learn how to express what you do in a way that connects emotionally, your value goes through the roof. You're no longer just selling a product or a service. You're solving a problem, and people pay to solve problems. If you're struggling to get paid, it might not be because you're not good. It might be because you're not speaking in a way people understand. If they don't get what you do, they can't buy from you. If they don't see how it helps them, they won't feel the need to pay for it. And if your message is full of fluff, or too complicated, or too self-centered, they'll scroll right past you. Learning the language of value means keeping your message simple, powerful, and focused on the other person. That's how you move from trying to convince people to attracting people. That's how you shift from pitching to pulling. Because once people hear your value clearly, they chase it. They talk about it. They share it. That's when the calls come in. That's when the inbox fills up. That's when money starts moving toward you. Not because you begged for it, but because you spoke its language fluently. So here's the truth: money is already looking for someone. It's just listening for the voice of value. If you want to be found heard and paid, then stop rambling and start refining. Learn how to speak the language of results. Learn how to talk about transformation. Learn how to describe what you do in a way that makes people say, I need that right now. That's how money chases you. That's how your name gets called. And it all starts with speaking value loud and clear. There's something about desperation that repels blessings. It's like people can smell it from a mile away. Whether you're trying to close a deal, land a client, get a job, or make a sale, when you show up with needy energy, people pull back. Not because they're cold, but because desperation makes them question your value. When you act like you need the money, it creates fear and pressure. And people don't respond well to pressure. They respond to confidence. The truth is, money follows people who move like they don't need it. That's not arrogance, that's certainty. It's a deep knowing that what you offer is valuable, that your time matters, that your energy isn't cheap. When you carry that mindset, everything changes. People respect you more, they trust you more, and most importantly, they pay you more. Let's be clear, detaching from desperation doesn't mean you don't care about success. It means you're not clinging to it. You're not begging for it. You're not allowing your self-worth to be tied to someone else's yes or no. You show up, you deliver your value, and you let go of the outcome. That's real power. That's how you start to attract what's meant for you instead of chasing what doesn't serve you. The reason most people stay stuck is because they operate from survival mode. They think, if I don't get this deal, I'm finished. Or I need this person to say yes. That kind of thinking will drain your spirit and destroy your confidence. It puts all your power in someone else's hands. But when you detach, you reclaim your control. You start showing up with peace, not panic. And money always follows peace. People want to work with people who are grounded, who know who they are, and who don't shift depending on the situation. Think about it. Have you ever walked into a room and felt someone's nervous energy? It's uncomfortable. It makes you pull back. But when someone walks in cool, calm, and sure of themselves, it draws people in. That's what detachment looks like in action. You're not cold. You're not disconnected. You're just not desperate. You're rooted in purpose, not panic. This shift starts in your mindset. You have to stop thinking of money as something you have to chase and start seeing it as something that comes to you when you're in alignment. Focus on becoming the kind of person who attracts wealth, not begs for it. Be the person who shows up with solutions, who adds value, who walks in the room like they belong there. That kind of presence doesn't come from fear. It comes from faith. Faith in your gift, faith in your grind, faith that what's for you is already looking for you. Here's another thing, you've got to trust the process. Sometimes things don't happen right away. Sometimes people say no, but detaching from desperation means understanding that rejection isn't the end, it's just redirection. When one door closes, another one opens. But if you're too desperate, you'll keep banging on the wrong door instead of turning around and walking through the right one. There's real power in walking away, in saying, this deal doesn't fit my value, in knowing when to move on. Because when you stop acting like you need everything, you start attracting the right things. That's when money starts showing up out of nowhere. That's when people start calling you, because they can feel that you're solid, that you're not chasing, that you're already full. And money loves that energy. So if you're out here grinding, trying to get paid, trying to build something meaningful, let me tell you this, don't let desperation be the energy you lead with. Lead with belief. Lead with clarity. Lead with the calm confidence that your time is coming. And when you do that, something crazy happens. You stop chasing money and it starts chasing you, because the world makes room for people who don't beg for it. The world honors people who know their value and don't compromise it. Be that person. Let your work speak. Let your energy lead and watch what happens next. If you want money to chase you, you've got to start showing up like it already did. Most people wait until they get the big check, the fancy car, the approval, or the spotlight before they carry themselves with confidence. But that's not how the game works. You don't get the success first and then act successful. You act successful first, and that energy pulls the success to you. That's the mindset that separates people who always struggle from the ones who move fast and rise high. Showing up like you already have it is not about pretending or being fake. It's about carrying the belief that what you want is already yours and you're just walking into it. It's about being aligned with your goals on the inside before they show up on the outside. When you believe it deeply, you behave differently. Your posture changes, your tone changes. The way you speak, the way you walk into a room, the way you sit at the table, everything shifts. People can feel that energy. When you walk into a meeting with the energy of someone who's already successful, people take you more seriously. They listen harder. They trust you faster. Because confidence is magnetic, and confidence rooted in belief, not ego, but real self-belief, is the most powerful tool you've got. When you show up already believing the deal is done, the room adjusts to meet your expectations. Let's get real. Life responds to how you carry yourself. If you walk around like a question mark, unsure, doubtful, waiting for someone to validate you, then you'll always be overlooked. But when you walk in like an answer, like you know who you are, what you offer, and where you're going, then everything starts to open up. Opportunities, relationships, money, they're drawn to that level of certainty. You've got to start dressing, talking, and thinking like the version of you who already made it. That doesn't mean you spend money you don't have or put on a fake show. It means you operate with excellence right where you are. You show up early. You do the work like it's already paying millions. You treat your clients like VIPs, even if they're your first ones. You stay sharp. You speak with intention. You don't let your current situation define your future behavior. Because here's the thing, if you can't show up strong when things are slow, you won't know how to handle it when things speed up. Success doesn't come to people who are waiting around for permission. It comes to those who move like they belong there, even when no one's watching yet. That kind of mindset creates momentum. It builds habits. It builds reputation. And eventually it builds wealth. When you start acting like you already have it, your decisions change too. You stop settling for scraps. You stop negotiating your worth. You stop chasing people who don't value your time. Why? Because someone who believes they already have it doesn't operate from lack. They operate from vision. They move with purpose. They choose powerfully. Now, this isn't always easy, especially when your bank account doesn't match your dreams yet. But that's the test. That's the moment that separates the players from the pretenders. Can you walk like a king when you're still in the valley? Can you speak like a champion when no one's clapping yet? That's where the foundation gets built. And if you build it strong, the money has to follow, because life rewards preparation. It honors belief in action. Every room you walk into from this day forward, walk in like your future self already arrived. Don't wait to be rich to carry yourself with value. Don't wait for praise to believe you're worthy. Don't wait for permission to move like a winner. Show up like you already got the house, the car, the income, the peace. Because when you do that, you start making choices from abundance, not fear. And those choices, little by little, build the life that people will later call overnight success. Money doesn't just chase skill, it chases certainty. So become that. Be the person who doesn't flinch. Be the one who knows it's already done. When you show up like you already have it, the world eventually catches up to what you've been believing all along. And that's when everything changes.